We'll come back to that topic shortly with a former Treasury Secretary. But now, Barnaby Joyce today quit the National Party after 30 years, but he did stop short of joining One Nation. His longtime friends and colleagues in the Nationals are incredibly frustrated. They're angry at what they see as his obsession with the spotlight. For close to 5 weeks, there's been a drip feed saga, the will he, won't he leave the party. Barnaby Joyce dragged it out until the final sitting day of the year before announcing this.
Apart from a 90-second phone conversation with the leader, I've had no communication with either the leader of the National Party or the deputy leader of the National Party to try and resolve this. So after 30 years with the National Party, I'm resigning from the party, and that really leaves me with a heavy heart, and I apologise for all the hurt that will cause. And what I have to do, if I'm going to continue on that fight, is get myself into a better position than the ejection chair in at the backbench of the coalition in opposition.
Yet even after this long-awaited announcement, the Barnaby show isn't over. There's still the question of whether he'll run for One Nation or be an independent at the next election. His original reason for considering quitting the Nationals was because they were still supporting net zero. But now the party has dumped its support of net zero. And Joyce's excuse for leaving has changed. He says today because he's on the backbench. And that tells you everything. This isn't about policy or substance. It's about him not being a team player. Matt Canavan, who's been one of Joyce's closest allies over the years and closest friends, he's going to be on the show shortly, but he summed it up bluntly this week.
It's turning into a longer saga than days of our lives, so I think people are all sick and tired of it.
But we shouldn't be surprised. Joyce is very popular with voters, despite the fact his parliamentary career has been riddled with self-inflicted scandals. There was the Bundle of Joyce saga, when he had a baby with his former media advisor. That dominated the media cycle for weeks because he kept kicking it along. He stunned even hardened political observers when he volunteered that there might have been a grey area over whether he was actually the biological father of the baby. He just kept giving the scandal new life as it was starting to die down. Then fast forward to last year, and Joyce made headlines when he was filmed lying on his back on a Canberra footpath in a suit, swearing into his phone, belligerent and drunk. He later said he'd mixed prescription medication with alcohol, called it a big mistake and embarrassing. But when people in the Nationals, and that's politicians in the Nationals, say that they're exhausted by the circus, this is what they mean. Whenever the spotlight moves away, Joyce is always right behind it, trying to catch up. And now we're here again, with Barnaby flirting with One Nation, whining and dining Pauline Hanson in her office, eating Wagyu steak cooked on a sandwich press under the portrait of Pauline, right in the middle of her latest burqa controversy. It's theatre, but is it serving the voters? And his friends appear to have had enough. Former National Senator John Wacker-Williams, a man who helped Barnaby raise money, recruit numbers, run campaigns, privately texted him this message: Barnaby, after 20 years of political friendship, if you join One Nation, then you will make me a political enemy. I'll have to hold you in the same regard as Tony Windsor. Your call. And then there's Bridget McKenzie, herself a former Nationals leader, also warning Barnaby to think carefully about his next move.
He's actually done serious things and his legacy is significant. That will be trashed if he goes to One Nation.
So these are his own colleagues. Joyce wants to cast his resignation from the Nationals as a noble stand, that he's been silenced, sidelined, unfairly treated by a party he gave 3 decades to. But he's not leaving over a matter of principle or policy. He's leaving because he doesn't like the leader, and there's no future for him, at least under the current leader, on the front bench. And because, perhaps most of all, he can't bear the idea of fading quietly into the background and not being in the headlines.